Well, howdy, Mr. Singh. Happy Valentine's Day, and I'm collecting information about the employees and how they like to work at Clifton Market. What's the main reason?
Well, happy Valentine's Day, and we have our management group been here for a while now. Actually, we were able to retain some of the management crew from the co-op, and I think we try to create for them, those workers, we try to create a career path for them so they can excel and are able to earn decent living. But as far as students, we're very flexible with their school schedule, and they find that attractive. So we have a lot of students up front as cashiers. But our core group been here quite a bit, like for almost over 5 years now.
And what's the starting salary for a cashier?
We're trying to compete with. It's hard to compete with big like Amazon and all those, but starting salary right now, depending on the experience, where they are, anywhere from $10 to $12.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Singh, and I'll see you at the market.
All right. See you, Tom. Thank you.
I've got a little community Zoom meeting. I'm trying to start back again. I used to broadcast from the Clifton Market. Okay. You want to sit down? We're recording. You can say hello. Just pop yourself down. There's your kind of tight.
Yeah. Okay.
So you're here for the workshop.
I'm here for the workshop, the bookmaking workshop taught by Paige.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So are you new to bookmaking?
Absolutely brand new to bookmaking. I'm a photographer, and books are like almost the perfect format for looking at photographs. You can hold them in your hand. It's pretty nice and intimate. So yeah, I have a number of photography books, but I've never made one. So this is a great start. Yeah.
Well, I'm always admiring all the books that are rebound down the library.
Yeah.
You know, they got a pretty massive bindery section.
Yeah, for sure. And then there's the Ohio bookstore, which they used to repair books and do rebinding. Are they still doing that? You know? Yeah. I hope they are. Yeah.
So what are you doing with your art other than making books now?
Well, it's interesting. I just started using film. I haven't used film for 40 years, and I bought at a flea market, I bought an old Leica camera, made in 1935. I wish I had it here with you, I could show you. But it takes 35 millimeter film. You have to adjust it a little bit to make it fit right. But I've taken about 7 rolls so far in the last 3 weeks. I went down to Manifest to learn how to process it. So I just did that last night and Friday before. And so, it's something new project. Sometimes we need something new to get us motivated again to make art. So that's what I've been doing.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Well, even these days, filmmakers some of them they like to shoot on film.
That's right.
Instead of video.
That's right. There was at the last photo focus, there was one session where there were 3 videographers who were using film. I don't know if you remember that a couple years ago. So yeah, these old cameras, they don't make the old cameras anymore, but they do make the film. Or you can find expired film. Yeah.
See, when I think of all the photos I didn't take because I was using film.
Oh, you didn't take? Yeah.
I should have paid more attention of coveting each frame, like many photographers would just work everything to the nth degree and then take the picture.
Yeah, that's interesting. I've used digital. My first digital camera was I bought in 1999, and so I basically used digital ever since then. I've used film a few times. Shooting with film and shooting with digital, I noticed immediately a huge difference when I used film here in the last 3 weeks. Slows you way down. One reason is I got to keep going like this, put my glasses back on to make the adjustments, and that slows you down right here. And then you got to set your camera settings. But I walk out and I have one roll of film. Say I'm going in some park, right? One roll of film, 36 exposures. With my digital camera, everything that caught my eye, I wanted to take 5 or 10 photographs of it. And so I did that. But with film, I know I only have 36 shots. So I'm walking slowly. I'm considering. I'm a better shopper of what I want to photograph. And when I see something, I have to consider, like you said, composition, what I want in, what I want out, if the sun is right at the moment. So using film is far less stressful, because when I was using digital, it's like I felt compelled to take a lot of photographs of everything I saw. So I would go out in an hour or 2 hours and take 300 or 400 photographs. So you can imagine the stress of trying to take 300 good photographs of everything I saw. With my film, my camera, 36 shots, I slowed down. It was wonderful. And so I was not expecting that.
I don't know if I'm ever going to go back to film, but I do think it's best to contemplate your shot.
Yeah.
And,
sure.
You know, when you think of someone like Mapplethorpe, he didn't just whip those things out. You know, they were carefully focused and set up, and
yeah,
an incredible amount of work was done in lighting before anything was even taken.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Who knows? You might even taken Polaroids like the old days. They would take Polaroids of
Yeah.
the shot before they took the real film.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's. I was talking with Michael Wilson just yesterday about this, and you know, we all have our phones, and we can take so many photographs with our phones in such a short amount of time. We can take. If we go to a birthday party, you might take 50 photographs, and then later on that evening, you may take 50 more. So, what kind of value do you place on each one of those 100 photographs you took that day, compared to, say, 50 years ago, you took maybe 12 photographs at a birthday party? Those 12 photographs that you took and processed and made prints of, they had quite a bit of value to them. You cherished them, you took care of them, you put them in a box, you put them in a closet. On my phone right now, I have probably 5,000 photographs. You know, what kind of value can I place on those? So there's a difference in the value, I think, of a print and something that's you can hold in your pocket.
Yeah. I take all the photographs off my phone and I store them in folders.
Okay.
So it's you got to stay on top of it. Otherwise, it'll just it'll run your life. It's like emails.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't empty your inbox, you'll never empty it.
Right. Exactly. You got 800 emails you haven't opened yet. Yeah. That's kind of depressing, isn't it? Kind of stressful.
Well, I'll let you get back to
all right.
your work.
All right. Very good.
Nice chatting. Let's see if I can get Chris over here. Okay, Chris. You can just have a seat there.
Okay, gosh.
And,
All right, what's this conversation gonna be about?
well,
Bye.
just introduce yourself, and we'll talk a little bit about your work and
Okay.
exactly how you came up with this motif.
Okay, all right.
It seems sort of like this is one of Chris's pieces right behind her. It looks very much like the Chuck Close motif.
Could be. I always say I'm influenced by the 4Ks. So Kandinsky, clay, Klimt, and actually, and Klimt. So Hilma af Klimt is an obscure artist who has actually, no, Hilma af Klimt, Klint, and she recently had a show at the Guggenheim a few years ago, and she was an early abstract, like before Kandinsky, before Clay, all those guys. And she did some beautiful symbolic work, lots of circles, lots of squares, a lot of color, a lot of movement. So she was a big inspiration, but so were all those other guys. So, yeah.
Each piece seems so unique. It's almost like a separate little planet in of itself.
Yeah. So I'm usually, a lot of my themes tend to be about integration and disintegration. So things coming together, things coming apart. When I'm creating a composition, I often think about humanity and culture, how people are constantly battling, their egos, their subconscious. So it's a lot about the push and pull dichotomy of things, but typically there's a sense of energy, pulling and pushing. That seems to be the theme I explore the most.
A lot of these little dots, they seem like they're you've taken like particles of dust and zoomed in on them and had them blend, or maybe like blurred a photograph to sort of start to generate these little pixelated worlds. Do you just make that up, or is it influenced by like a Photoshop or filters on Photoshop? Or?
I mean, I studied art in the 80s at Columbus College of Art and Design, and I learned a lot of traditional methods. I just love, the analog world. I love the mark making of a brush, but I use a lot of other techniques. I paint with a palette knife. I often make squeeze bottles full of paint to get really detailed in the circles and forms and shapes, but it's a very intuitive process.
So it looks like a squeeze bottle with a light yellow line. Cool.
So it's hard to get those like really sharp, detailed shapes, but I play around and experiment a lot. Louise Nevelson definitely inspires me, the color-filled painters, where you kind of just let the art show you where it wants to go. So it's a very intuitive process. Don't ever start with a vision and it turns out exactly like what I thought it was going to be.
Well, all the work here is very consistent. I've got some samples of your work here. I took little pictures of them, so I'll see if I can pull that up. I don't know. Trying to learn how to do this screen sharing, but can't seem to find how to do this.
Oh, wait, what are you using? Zoom. Oh, yeah, here, go down there, share.
Share.
There you go. That'll share us. Is that what you wanted to share?
I want to show in the screen itself, so we have to reduce that. And I have to open up your folder of photos. Where did I put them? Oh, here they are. So you went to art school, and then you've been an artist ever since, or?
Well, actually, I have a day job. So I have been a design strategist and account manager in the graphic design industry for a long time. I work primarily in brand design and package design, really touching all consumer.
So can we go to the store and see some of the designs?
Oh yeah.
What?
I mean, I'm not actually a hands-on designer. I really guide big teams to do large projects for CPG companies. And so yes, I spend my day job is looking at and evaluating design communications. This has always been my just happy hobby.
Well, this series of work is all one body.
Yeah.
It's coordinated. Is this your motif, or have you gone through other motifs?
I've gone through other motifs. If you look through the studio, more recently, I've been playing with circles a lot. Some of my older work tends to be a bit more cubist in nature. And it really depends. It's usually, sort of in the flavor of the Bauhaus. Basic shapes coming together and interacting.
Okay, Chris LaRue.
Yeah, so the shapes just take over. I created that piece in particular in the middle of COVID shutdown. So I was definitely speaking to isolation and the interconnectedness of humanity. I mean, we were all cloistered away, but at
It
the
kind
end
of
of
looks
the
like the
day,
coronavirus.
yeah,
a little
kind
bit.
of. I mean, you can't
Thank
help.
God you didn't put those little spikes on it.
But honestly, we were all cloistered away, but we were all being impacted by this force that, none of us had control over. So I think a lot of the work is about control, and we don't have control. Ultimately, we're not in charge. So
I had to put a little dot down here, so which is way it was up. But I noticed that many of the works are square.
yes.
Now, is there any thought about the square?
I like the format of a square. There's just something about that format that really speaks to me, and it does a nice job. You're able to fill the space
Mhm.
in a really complete way, and it forces proportions and composition to an interesting way.
Well, you can also, I suppose, would it be sacrilegious to turn it
Oh,
one
no,
way or another?
no. I mean,
There's no right or up or down on these works?
No. I mean, I have preferences certainly, but I learned, and when I'm painting, I rotate all the time because my feeling is it should look good no matter what. If it's a great composition, it should work
I guess you look
regardless.
through a mirror at it too.
I
sometimes.
flip it around. I spend as much time looking at the art as I'm making it as I do applying paint. So it's a very deliberate process where I'm thinking long and hard about each paint stroke and what color and what shade and what technique.
Well, I think we've gone through them all.
Great.
My other question was about the texture.
Yeah.
What is the medium? It looks like you mix it up with the Elmer's Blue sometimes. Is it acrylic?
It is acrylic. I use a lot of different kinds of medium.
Mhm.
I don't like working with oils because there's just a lot of toxic chemicals
Oh, right,
involved in
right,
that.
definitely.
There are with acrylic too, but they're water soluble. And by using different mediums, you're able to create a lot of different techniques in terms of translucency and opacity. And so helps me achieve that push and pull that I'm always trying to accomplish.
I see you used like a rubber nib or something to wipe away the canvas.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Is that a rubber tip brush?
Yeah, so I have some rubber tipped scraping devices that allow you to create patterns or shapes my studio is kind of hilarious because it almost looks like a hardware store.
Uh-oh.
I have so many different tools and techniques and different types of materials there to use.
Well, when you start on a piece like this, do you spend time mixing a little color? Little containers of color
Oh,
that
yeah.
you'll be using for this painting, or is it just a standard tube squeeze out the paint in a regular traditional palette, or and just mix and match as you go along?
I usually put a large color field down as a starting point. So I think when I did this one, and for instance, I used alcohol inks. So I put down a base. I used alcohol to create and spread the pigment around, and then I pulled the pigment off. So there's layers and layers and layers that allow me to create this. So underneath it all was one color. I went on top with another color and then scraped things away.
Yeah,
But again, it's like layer after layer after layer.
Well, this is the work we're looking at, but right down here, this part here,
Yes.
that looks like it was developed with the alcohol.
Yes, that's definitely the alcohol inks that you see on the surface.
Down in here, it's very
Yeah.
transparent.
Yeah. So try to allow a lot of that translucency come through in the different layers as well.
Oh, great. And where's your studio located?
In the basement of my house.
Oh, yeah.
I call it the rabbit hole. I go down there all the time.
That's a good place to have a studio, in your own home. That way you can do it, you can cook and clean and do whatever you.
Yeah, you can walk away from it too, which is nice because it makes a big fat mess every time.
So where do you live?
Pardon me?
Where do you live?
Oh, I live over in East Walnut Hills, Eden Park area. So I get very inspired by that beautiful park and the ponds and everything nice there.
Well, thank you. Thank you, Chris. for
Yeah, I
stopping
enjoyed it.
by and talking about your work, and I hope you sell them all.
Thank you. I'm excited that people are enjoying them.
Super, super.
Thanks, Tom.
We'll see if anybody tunes in.
That's great. So is this a live feed or what is it we're doing?
It's live
Whoops.
now. It's live Zoom.
That's cool.
I send out a link to 450
Nice.
Cliftonites, and then I post it on Facebook and
That's
Nextdoor.
That's great.
We don't, nobody's tuned in, but
Oh, they might want, you're recording it.
I'm recording it.
Yeah.
We'll put it up on YouTube eventually.
Yeah, great.
We'll just see who shows up and who
Yeah,
wants to
I'll
talk.
be interested. That's great.
All right.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
I appreciate your interest.
Sure, super.
Yeah, let me know when you.
I'll send you a
might
link.
Share it with a few friends.
Yes, certainly. Did you make a book, Joyce?
I did.
Uh-huh.
I got some more business cards. Oh, good. Yes.
Oh, sit down and show it to us.
No.
Okay, well, now you can just stick it into the window there. There, yeah, there's Joyce Rich's
My
book.
There we go.
Right, perfect, beautiful. Yeah. Is Paige a bookbinder? Is Paige work as a bookmaker?
She's just an art teacher, so she.
Oh, I see. Yeah, Paige Wideman sponsored a workshop today at the gallery. Had about 10 people here making books. So,
And so he's ready.
huh? Oh,
What was that? Oh, he wants to see my book.
if you want to show it to us, we're live on Zoom.
My book goes
Oh, thank you.
this,
Uh-huh. Perfect.
and then the back.
And will you draw on it or? will you
I
write
was
on
going
it?
to do some landscapes on it. That's why I have it in this format. Some nice southwest landscapes.
I know that cover paper brings up that motif right away.
That's right.
Thank you for showing that.
You're welcome. You punch the code in and then punch the.
Well, Nelson,
Yeah,
come on in and sit down. I'm recording live here. You can
wonderful. Oh,
tell us what's on your mind.
just adjusting to the latest nightmare.
Oh, really? What's that?
Oh, probably about every 5 minutes, like everybody else, crashing and coming down.
Yeah.
And he'll break the guitar. I mean, it's like whatever can go wrong is going to go wrong. And what we made there's that got your eye on the ad. We're always on the Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Great ad.
One of them. Well, we're trying to resurrect the videos I did at the Clifton Market, so we're bringing them over here.
Yeah, great.
So anybody walks by the front of the store, come on in, let's get something off your chest.
Good. So, I like everybody else is just amazed every day at how many things can go wrong. Which, I had a good life so far and, things went pretty normal. But then, about a year and a half ago, I came down with a mysterious condition, and I was having a lot of eye work done there. What are you doing, buddy? Take it easy. It's like, and then this behavior, I've never seen this before.
Really?
This is, what is the problem, kid?
What's
Oh,
sitting in
look
my
at
lap?
this. Man, He's
You can sit in Nelson's lap.
Jeez. Yeah.
We don't have a dog at home, so I have to use other people's dogs when they're available.
So you don't have one?
No. No,
Wow.
we don't have dogs or cats or anything. I'm the only dog in the house.
Well, here's what I've noticed. I got stuck with the dog problem way back. And
Well, you
So-
keep on having, I've seen so many dogs with you. You must wear them out.
yes. I don't know if you can smell this, but he has a condition where it's toned down a little bit that he, you know, besides being cute, and these women come up to him and that's, oh, my God, like knock you right out. Because a little better now. So
Good boy.
I'm just a local artist. I was an artist. I got a big, I was a big deal actually in school and in Cincinnati. If you remember some of the shows I had.
Mhm.
But so the worst thing that can happen as an artist is to get praise and adulation. And once that happens,
That's just-
you're like, you know,
You
what
wish
else is there to do?
Yeah, you wish you were back when you were unknown.
Struggling, yes.
Yeah. So
But
every day I thank my lucky stars I haven't been discovered overnight, you know, and my life turned into a.
you're about to, I
You
mean,
know, or,
your style is what is hot. I mean, it can only get hotter.
well, thank you, Nelson.
And that's what's going on.
My job is to paint, and hey, they got a show here coming up for Clifton artists, so you could submit something. You must.
I've got so much work up there.
They're only asking it had to be done within the last 2 years. So
Let's see, I retired about 10 years ago, so yeah, we'll see what I can come up with. But,
well,
but
I'm working on a formal portrait right now of Robert Johnson. You know,
wow.
the old blues player.
Oh, I sure do.
Well, I wanted to paint his portrait for a long time, and I started on it. And I discovered a new photograph. In 2018, his stepsister published a book when she was 99 or 95
Yeah.
about her time with Robert. She was like 10. He was
Yes.
like in his 18.
Yeah.
And she knew him as, you know, the virtuoso that he was, and sadly lived through his death. And it's a nice book.
So, how did you get the photograph?
It was hers.
Okay,
She kept it all these years.
sure,
You might remember the photograph of Robert Johnson with him with a cigarette and his guitar in the photo booth.
sure.
This is in the same photo booth, but he's smiling with his guitar.
Okay.
So it's the only smiling picture of Robert Johnson. It's very, very pleasant, perfect picture. Now I'm kind of stymied right now on the background because the background is just a sheet. So I was going to put a pond or a stream where he used to go and play guitar
Yeah,
and practice.
yeah,
Now I'm leaning towards maybe putting in a railroad track because he used to catch the trains there. And this
yeah,
is all in Memphis.
yes.
So I've been exploring Memphis virtually, trying to discover the right place. And curiously enough, the places that are mentioned in the book that they lived in and
Yes.
all about, they're still there. You can still,
Have you been there?
I've been
Memphis
to
at all?
Memphis, but I haven't traced these places, these little landmarks of Robert's life. A lot of it's being torn down and rehabbed and everything, but
Well, I was-
anyway, got to get that background done.
I was surprised when I went to Memphis that it was about like Short Vine. It's about as built up as that.
Right,
I mean, it was just like a little, very small,
right.
one main street.
Yeah, it's about 3 blocks, three blocks, and the end of it towards the river turns into just downtown Memphis, and then the upper part is just land and
Still,
large buildings, there's no like village.
Yes.
Like it's down there.
Nashville's almost like
Yeah,
that.
that's like 5 times as much. Nashville.
Just 5 times as big.
So anyway, I guess now I'm talking myself into putting in the stream and then putting the railroad tracks, and I'm probably gonna have to stick a railroad on there
It should be easy.
with the door open, so that, you know, that they used to jump onto the cars. I don't know how he ever carried his guitar and got on the train, you know, to me.
I can imagine it. I can't wait to see it.
Well, I've been dragging my heels trying to get this background done, but this show's gonna motivate me to do it.
Well, have you got any insight of the recent breakthrough they've been talking about in the art world as to how they're licensing their images? And
You mean those NFTs?
there's rights and copyrights, and there's a whole new system going on where instead of an artist selling a work for $800 and then 2 years later going for 8 million, which is about which is what's going on,
Right,
has been going on
right.
for forever, which is why I totally dropped out of the showing my artwork, and I've kept it up in my house. Now, that is all intact, and it can be cataloged by myself, and I can be the owner, and I can sell certain copies. But how am I supposed to think when I gotta see that wonderful brace on that guitar?
This?
Yes,
Oh, gosh.
that is the coolest thing in town.
This
Now,
This
yeah,
is
the
a
guitar, yes.
This is a standard harmony. It's a blues guitar.
Oh, I know it is.
But it doesn't have a threaded rod in it.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And after I got it,
Yes,
and eventually the neck starts going south.
sure.
And so I just put that outside truss on.
That is ingenious. I
So
mean,
it keeps the neck perfectly straight.
you could patent that.
Well, I don't know.
I mean, for these guitars, that's the
You
best
can,
thing I've seen.
But the neck is perfectly straight. I mean, it's a beautiful action. It can't be,
Have you ever had an estimate on that?
oh, this guitar?
Yes.
Oh, they're only worth like 200. They're not very expensive.
Are you sure?
Oh, I'm positive. They made a gazillion of these.
Oh, I know.
This is like
I know
a Stella Harmony. You know, the Stella is also, they've made zillions of them. And it's a standard slide guitar. It's got a flat fretboard. And so there you go. I mean, I don't know what it was. Maybe it's the light body, the acoustics or something, but I prefer this guitar to my,
Oh, yeah, you can't beat it. I mean,
it has a nice tone to it.
yeah, that wood is,
I got me a new backpacker. You remember that little backpacker I had?
Oh, yeah. Well,
I wore the one out. Now I got a new one. The new ones are quite a bit improved.
well, I have a Coast Guard. It is really tough canvas and really battle ready. And boy, if you were in a battle with that thing, because all the zippers are, it's but that's only one, and I have. I would think at least 100 backpacks
Wow.
at my house. And so what happened with me was I always wanted a place where I could store the stuff that I collect, because besides my degree in painting and sculpture, my minor is in museum studies, so I can get a job at the museums. So I, of course, got to be in on the outer edge of this practice, and I can't pass up a piece of paper without seeing the future value of it is an artifact. So my house is, so I do have a lot of valuable found items, semi-precious collectible antiques. And basically, since I started traveling and actually lived halfway in New York, I have an apartment in New York I kept for about 9 years there. And when you got a place in New York and your house is here and you've got guests at your house, because I've been in the neighborhood so long that eventually every one of my friends that's married around my block and so forth will get kicked out by their wife, and I wind up with them at my house.
You're so kind.
So
Well, when I get kicked out, I'll be calling.
yeah, you gotta remember that I'm the guy. You know, I got that big house. It's got, you know, 3 floors of, you know,
Artifacts.
9 bedrooms or something, you know, I mean, but let's face it, here you go, folks, it's a story. In order to discourage the looting of my house every time I left.
Well, don't mention it. Don't mention it.
Well, I let the looters pile, because they don't know anything valuable. They come in looking and things get piled up. I left the piles on top of the valuable artifacts. So, you know, it takes them a few hours to, you know, find something if they did know what they're looking for.
Yeah.
So,
I know.
as-
I know.
And it points out that a lot of my friends are like, don't have a lot to do. And I'm thinking, well, I have more to do than I could finish in another 800 years. I mean, I have so much to do.
We have to start winding down sooner or later.
Oh, gosh,
Not
I already
just because
wound
you have
down.
to.
I gotta wind it up. It's like everybody else. It's like, that's over. I think what's going on this planet right now, and I've been studying this particular field of endeavor for many years, and I've worked with, I've actually been very intense, what's called darshan with ascended masters. There were basically 4 of them, and I happened to run into every one of them through some kind of accident. But you know, I got no excuse, because I've got all the facts about, you know, what it's about in life and what the mission is on Earth and what I'm doing and everything. And I feel that I'm evolving on a bunch of different levels. I saw my friends succeed in what I'm doing, music and art. And invariably, my friends who had hit records and hit careers would trade with me in a second.
Yeah, that's a good thought for the day.
Rough.
Yeah, that I could certainly say I don't have to worry about the phone ringing all the time and getting asked to give stuff away all the time.
You're a big celebrity, but you're in a small, what do you call that? On a small stage. So,
Well,
you know, it's,
these days you could be on a big stage.
yeah.
Just be ready for it. Or I wonder sometimes, I guess many people just, you know, don't try to precipitate fame. You know, they can leave it. So.
Yes, well,
Forget about that. We got to worry about more about how to create art, and that always takes a lot of questions about how to stage it, who's involved, what's involved. In my day, I like to paint important paintings instead of just. So I have to focus on what's the most important painting I can do, and then do it.
well, I could probably throw something on a piece of paper. That's about the most effort I'm committed to spending in creating artwork, visual artwork, hand done artwork.
Well, you could say the same thing. I'm trying to write important songs. I'm not trying, you have to focus on putting your best foot forward and getting that song out and making sure it's the best you got.
Well, thanks for reminding me.
Many people are like, they make an album, they want to have one or two hits, and then the rest of it, it should just be fodder, to fill up the album, because you got some contract with a record company, and they want 4 albums. Well, why give them 4 albums with all great stuff on it? Might as well just have some of the run-of-the-mill songs. Who knows? One of them could be a big hit. But
Well, what's going on in the music business, and has been going on since like 1868.
I suppose
It's always the same thing.
the record company takes all the money.
Well, it's even more basic than that. Thousands of hours of unpleasant music that nobody wants to hear gets produced because they have so much money. Fortunately, every year since about 1920, some little girl, 13-year-old kid in her parents' basement on some cheap equipment records something, and it's the biggest hit of the year, and it's #1, not just. And actually, that phenomenon is more common than all the producers and all the production.
Well, nobody can
the money
produce
in
a
the
hit.
world.
No, as much as they try, Disney, when they make their movies, they try to make it a hit, and they do a pretty good job of touching all the bases.
Yes.
Now, whether it's going to stand the test of time is another story, but nobody knows what it is. Nobody knows the answer.
Would you believe I, with my degree in fine arts and painting and sculpture, I got to work for Hanna-Barbera, creating whatever I wanted, and Disney, and then later on with Disney, I actually wound up working with those, and I'm really coming to be really wondering what's going on, that everything I see, everywhere I look, I can see that I had a job doing that. Why have I worked there? Why have I worked there? How could I have a job there? And, it's only like, 78 years.
Are you 78?
1943.
Oh my gosh, I'm 68.
Of course. Nobody's, I haven't had a friend my age in decades.
Well, yeah, the joke is already my friends my age are dying. So it starts.
Yeah.
And it never ends.
Yeah,
You get to be 90, all your friends are dead.
it's rough. I went through it. I mean,
So you're 78 now, half your friends are gone probably.
Well, I had training because about 12, maybe 15 years ago, I quit drinking.
That'll save your life.
So when you quit, no, it might save your life, but it ruins your social life. You have no friends. You'll never have a friend. And when you don't drink, you don't, that's it.
Well, I'm learning how to go to a bar and not drink. That's what you do.
I tried it.
It's very hard.
I can't stand the hate from the bartenders.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, they know what's going on. You're sitting there not drinking, and it's like, people.
Well, you can still give them a big tip.
Yeah.
They don't care as long as you give them a tip. So what if they're just giving you club soda?
You got to it. I mean,
Well, that's the exchange. You don't buy the drink. You just give them the whole tip. That's like a $15 tip right there.
yeah. I mean, may you live in interesting times, and this is the biggest one. And look what we've been through. I mean,
Well, Mike's wine place has turned out to be a wonderful place to go and talk.
Who is it?
Mike's wine shop.
Oh, yes. Okay.
People go in there and have wonderful conversations, and
Wow.
any time of the day you can stop in and have a drink, and it's fascinating.
Well, as long as there's something being recorded, I I've come to the point in my life where I'm claiming things that happened. In high school, we had, before they gutted education in America, you had social studies and socially aware classes and civics and various things. And one of my projects was I went around the neighborhood, our neighborhood, which was predominantly Catholic. And so we were just doing a survey before the election between Nixon and John Kennedy. And as I went out, I was shocked by the hostility towards the Democratic candidate. And
Because he was Catholic?
I was at Oak Hills school then, Western Hills, with I got here from Saskatchewan. Thought I'd fit in if I dressed like Jerry Lee Lewis. Got on the school bus, and a wall of fist came from the back of the bus, like one big wall. And of course, one of them got me pretty good, and somebody said, "Oh, don't mind him, that's Pete Rose." So Pete wound up, we were antagonistic at Western Hills for 4 years. But in the meantime, he was so frustrated that the coaches wanted him to teach me to play ball. And that broke his heart every day, had him walking off in tears. So his solution was to forge my signature on the football sign-up sheet. So I'm in Canada partying like I do, like I'm, drinking 4 cases of beer a day, and I get a call from my parents, and my parents are very lenient and open-minded, but for some reason, they said, "Hey, you got to notice, you got to be at football practice, in the middle of the summer." I was like, "Oh no!" But there I was, made it to football practice, and wound up winning the trophy that year, because I got so good at it.
What was your position?
Tight end. Well, let me think now. I got mental.
Well, it looks like you'd be a good receiver.
Oh, I used to be able to go right there. End, it's an end. What's that called? Not tight end.
I don't know.
Anyway.
I don't know my position names.
End on offense and center. No, I'm sorry. End on defense. Defensive end.
Defensive.
And the center. Big. I weighed a lot. I was big. So, boy. Well, that got a little too complicated. Let's get back where I was. I was trying to see. I'm going to try to get something here on my own.
Well, we're getting ready for the big game tomorrow.
And
It starts about 6:30, I think.
so my deal on the big game is the only reason they've won so far is because I never went near any device that would mention the game, because I knew I'd jinx them if I heard anything about it. I mean, they're winning, and if I hear they're winning, they're going to lose. By the time the game's over. So anyway, you can thank me.
So you won't tune into the game until the last
tune in at
minute,
all.
so they win it.
I'll hear it later because,
Overtime.
because I don't want to jinx them. So,
Jinx, anybody. There's more superstition in baseball than football, but I guess still football superstitions are.
Wow.
But so where do you think the name, the Who Day chant came from? I thought for sure it was the Udi Delight. It was a big beer when that slogan came out.
Hootie,
I thought it was Hootable, but they haven't really been able to trace it down.
We used to like to get moody with the hootie, I mean, that's what we did, no? And that's how we grew up. And then I went up to Syracuse, and they got Valentine and some other brand, but of course I wound up running the advertising campaigns for a bunch of them. Yeah, I mean, she's wound up working for the president of P&G, restoring pianos to donate to children's homes, and we restored the player piano in the museum center together. And that's an explanation for why I have hundreds of pianos all around my house and in my house. And
Well, when you learn, when you know how to play a piano or a guitar, you end up having lots of pianos and guitars if you're not careful.
well, I don't get many because I'm a big bleeding heart Libra. And if somebody needs something, I'm gonna give them to them. I gave away so many guitars. I mean, I'd be a millionaire just from instruments I've given away. I got that trombone they were hawking around the neighborhood and gave them $40 for it, and they're asking me, "You got some more money?" I'm beat up old cheap high school trombone. I got that. So just as a note of what do you call that? Ambience, local ambience, and yeah. So I came from Saskatchewan. Went up to Western Hills and then went on to Oak Hills and won and got a big scholarship. I mean, that's the other thing. I was always an idiot genius, but I was discovered as a child prodigy artist at about 4 or 5 years old. And I don't know if you know how that is, but it's like anything you do, they just go nuts over.
Well,
And
for you to get a scholarship back then, they didn't have a lot of networking for people in high school to get scholarships. So you must have really shown, you must have really been.
Yeah, I mean, I won so many, the Scholastic awards they had, any contest. I mean, it was ridiculous because I could throw paint on something and they'd go, "Oh, this is great," I mean, it kind of aggravating, like, but like I say, I got to Syracuse and I got obsessed with painting, and if you see my work, I don't know if you've seen the bulk of it, but it's so much of it, and it turns out that the fact that I never sold any. I mean, I did. I went through the selling. I actually had a couple of big shows in town, and I think at Clausen's or somewhere,
Right.
where they bought everything, and I was
That's good.
like, wait a minute. So the boss is
I think
talking.
the boss wants to go.
Talking.
So thanks for stopping in, Nelson, and having a chat. Oh, is that Maureen? Hello, Maureen. Well, welcome to the virtual show here up at the gallery. It looks like
How you doing, Tom?
Oh, fine. We're just hanging out, talking to people that come in and seeing who shows up. Too bad we're not out at the fire pit with a cigar.
You bet, and a little bourbon.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got a beer, so that's close enough.
I got a Rheingeist, so I'm trying to hold down the fort here.
Just you and me?
Yeah. I've had various people tune in, but we're just trying to. I like to do this, and this is the first time I really got my rig all set up, as far as having the camera and the microphone. And earlier, I interviewed the artist.
Maureen's on the phone.
No. I just want to say hi, Tom. I thought it was you in the video thing.
Yeah.
So who is the artist? Who's the artist?
There's two artists. One is Barb Smucker, and the other one is Chris Thalgott. They're two abstract artists, and so it's a duo show. And the next show is going to be a Clifton show, a Clifton artist. So I hope you can submit something. I think the deadline is March something. March 13th.
I haven't painted anything in about 2 years, so.
Well, yeah, they are looking for something that's under 2 years old. So I guess maybe you'll find something. But this is going to motivate me to finish a portrait that I'm working on. So that's good. I need a little push to get me to the finish line. So, but I'll have to get that information, try to get it to you.
Yeah, I tried to stop in yesterday, but I got Maureen had some of the neighbor gals over for games and stuff, and I got talking with them, and got a little too late to get down there before wine tasting. So.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I do have priorities.
Well, I was thinking we could go watch the game at Mike's tomorrow.
No, we're going out to the sister-in-laws on the west side. We got a group going out there, so.
Yeah.
But thanks, yeah. So Mike's gonna have a TV?
No, it was joking, you know. You go to a Bengals party and there's no TV.
Yeah.
People just yelling out the scores from their cell phone, you know.
Well,
Otherwise, you just go back to talking and drinking.
There's been some postseason games that would have been the best option.
Well, anyway, I'm sure all the bars will be filled up and.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we didn't really want to go to a bar. We have gone to the Taft Brewporium a couple of times because that's pretty well spaced out.
Mhm.
But since the playoffs started, we've been going out to the sister-in-laws. Everybody's vaccinated there, so we feel pretty comfortable.
Yeah, it's getting more and more like it might see the end of the light at the end of the tunnel here.
Yeah, it's coming down, and there's enough people that have either been vaccinated or have already had it that could make a difference. We're heading down to Florida in a few weeks, and it's going. We're just talking to the brother-in-law right now, and he says nobody down there wears a mask. No, I don't know how good that's going to be for us. Because whenever we're indoors and we're not eating or drinking, we have a mask on. So
yes, and you're gonna stay healthier because of it. You know,
well, not only we'll avoid COVID, we'll avoid the flu and colds and other things.
Yes, absolutely. I fully believe it. I'm glad we finally got over the mask stigma. Now it won't make any difference. Nobody will think twice about somebody wearing a mask or not wearing a mask.
Well, I can't get Maureen to wear them very long. She has a problem with them. So that's why we were invited out to Sodoma,
Right.
for a week. For a friend of ours has a timeshare out there. But Maureen didn't want to fly because it was 2 or 3 hours in the plane, and she didn't think she could hack that.
Right.
But we're gonna drive to Florida, so.
We're thinking of taking a road trip to Florida, and we'll be driving.
When are you going?
Orlando and St. Petersburg.
When?
Oh, I don't know. It's not really planned out yet, but
Neither is ours.
yeah, Irene has to. She's starting to sort of think about it. So we'll see. It'd be nice to get out, but it is a long drive. But we'll probably stop in Georgia the first night near the.
She has relatives down there, doesn't she? Or
Yes, her sister lives in Orlando, so that would be fun. And then her best friend growing up lives in St. Petersburg. So if we just made to those two spots, that would be fine with me.
Yeah, Maureen her brother has a condo in Naples. He's going to be coming up here, so we'll stay down there while he's gone. And then my brother just bought a house a little southwest of Orlando, Lake Wales.
Right.
So
Right.
hopefully we can visit with him. And then we have a friend at Singer Island that we might stop with. So we might be gone for a couple of weeks.
Wow. Well, I certainly wouldn't mind that. I've But it's up to Irene to get her things in a row. I'll take off and I'll do the driving. So
Okay, wow.
Same here.
That's what he likes to drive, yeah. So I thought the paintings were kind of interesting.
yes, we've got a lot of nice abstract work.
So I haven't been in there yet, but I'll have to make it down sometime and look around.
I think next weekend, Barb Smucker is having a workshop about making her collages.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I think most of the information is on the Facebook page of the gallery. So if you want to learn more about it, there's
I haven't visited the Facebook page.
right.
Oh, yeah. I
they
did
had-
see that, Tom, yeah.
Paige Wideman had a bookmaking workshop today from noon to 3. So
how'd that go? Was there people there at all?
yeah, there was about 10 people here, children and
Wow.
adults.
Well, that's good. That's exciting.
And I was telling Fred that they're accepting submissions for a show about Clifton artists, for Clifton artists. So I'm hoping to submit something to that and get that going.
But
So
they want
Something new.
projects within the last 2 years, and I said
Yeah.
I haven't painted since.
Yeah, he hasn't painted for a
I
while.
haven't painted since probably 19. We got back from Texas. I did it 2 or 3 then.
well, I guess that is kind of a benchmark. If you hadn't done anything in 2 years, I guess you need to get back onto it or so.
Yeah, sure.
I'm just sorry I don't have a Clifton scene. I'm working on a portrait of Robert Johnson, or I could just as easily submit the portrait of Keith Richards I did, either one of them.
Yeah,
They've been
Yeah.
recently, but
yeah. The Clifton scenes would be more popular, maybe, huh?
I suppose, but I'd rather be commissioned to paint a Clifton scene. I'd do it in a heartbeat. I'm just trying to figure out how to promote that.
Yeah.
Most people just want to have, they see it, they like it, they buy it. So that's the way it goes.
Yeah, sure, yeah. So you did the one with the lamppost outside of Irene's place.
Check mine.
That, so you did that.
Right.
Was that wasn't commissioned, was it?
No, I did that for the, it was the art for one of the flyers for the 4th of July party.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Uh,
And then Mr. Siegfried bought it, Robert Siegfried.
Yeah, he got it from the barber Parsons at the barber shop.
Yes, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And then Rob ended up with it, yeah.
Right. So, yeah, I guess you just have to paint whatever you want. I've got a bunch of new work at the window box, Clifton Market window box, and I'm going to put it on everything but the house soon. You know, that auction site?
Yeah.
Well, I have to get rid of my stock. I can't leave Irene with several hundred paintings, not to do with it. So.
It's hard to know what to do with it, probably.
Well, it's better if I just disseminate them slowly through everything but the house. And they don't go for much money, but at least they found new homes. I call them little orphans. And
Little orphans, yeah.
I'm
I've
writing
got
an obituary for them now.
I still got about 5 paintings in the house, but I usually just give mine away. I can usually find a place for them, and they actually put them on their walls. So I feel good about that.
I found that it's best to take a little money so that they at least respect it a little bit. You know, they spend $10 for something, they might treat it a little bit better than if it was just given to them.
Okay. I think that's important, yeah, right.
$10 isn't enough, really, but
No, it's not, Tom.
what can you say?
I mean, really.
Well, I give mine to family and friends, so it's people I kind of owe things to, so I figure I'm
Nice.
just kind of evening things out.
I can tell you what I've been doing. I've
What?
been doing watercolor, but I do little bookmarkers things and give it to people, because I can do it in like a half hour, an hour, and then it's not super great, but it's appreciated, it seems like,
Sorry, I'm making brownies, so.
No.
He's making brownies. So
Yeah.
anyway, the little bookmarker, I think it's a nice little gift,
Yes, I think that's great.
I give it to people that I think would appreciate it,
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
everybody would, actually. Not everybody would,
Oh, there's so much art out there, but I can't really worry about that. I'm trying to do a good piece of art. That's what I'm interested in.
Uh-huh.
Make a good piece instead of.
Well, you're a professional.
Yeah, I'm a professional, that's for sure. I'm here at the gallery. I hope to have a group show here. I mean, a solo show here, maybe in 24.
Uh-huh.
So
Well, you should have enough by then, I would think.
Well, I've got enough now for a show. I usually like to have a show every 5 years, and it's getting up to be that. So
Okay.
my last show was at the Cultural Arts Center, and I'd like to have a show here because I like the location. I like the intimacy.
Yeah.
And
It's a nice location. It's a fun setting, the
maybe,
downtown.
maybe 23. Well, anyway, they have my proposal, and I'll submit something for the group show coming up.
Yeah. So that's nice you help out there. I mean,
Well, it's really a super place to hang out and play the guitar. The acoustics here is incredible.
oh,
It's amazing, the sound. And
okay. Huh.
and I'm trying to build an audience for the Clifton Zoom link. So I have to do something pretty consistently, and I'm trying to find an audience.
Yeah.
for these
Well,
events.
isn't this the first time you've done this there?
No, I've done other ones, but I didn't have all my technology down, so I finally got that worked out. So it's a little bit different than at Clifton Market. At Clifton Market, so many people come in, I can say, come on over, sit down, say what's.
Yeah.
But so far, I haven't been able to snag too many people walking by here. But I don't know. It's a trade-off between the quietness and the fact that it's art and Clifton Market. So I don't know. I could go back to the other one, but
Well, in another year or so, you'll be able to do it in the new CCAC building.
boy, wouldn't that be something? Gee,
Yeah.
I can't believe that's going down. It's going to be an incredible space.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to believe that it's really happening here. Now.
Finally.
After all this issue with the school and everything,
No, it was a torture to have to go through that, but
Yeah.
I'm so happy that Dewey's decided to sell that land to him.
Yes.
I gotta, they got such a great board and they really know how to do things. I'm really always amazed at their marketing and the ability to raise funds and
Yes.
get that
yes.
space. How could they have pulled that off?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
Somebody's arms got twisted or something, or I don't know how you persuade, but they did
Well,
it.
they have a big, I forget who's on the board. It's some sort of big architect or not architect, but developer
Right. Well,
is on the board. Who, Otto Buddage?
Buddage.
Well,
Otto Buddage?
Oh, he's
Yeah.
a big fan, is it? Yeah.
He is pretty, I want to say knowledgeable, but that's not the word I wanted.
He's been involved in a lot of big projects.
Yeah.
sure.
He's a mover and shaker, I think. I actually think you're right about the board. I think the board members, are super. And Abby, I like Abby. Abby and I like all the staff people,
I keep on saying, who's the genius behind all this? And nobody fesses up.
No one says. I actually think Cindy is super, super good.
Yeah, she must be still a great influence. So
Yes, I think so.
Well, she's the one that got us interested in it years ago, long before they had the building.
Yeah. I remember collecting all the Clifton artists and getting that started, the Golden Ticket show.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I had a painting in that one, first one.
I submitted some stuff, but it didn't get selected, but that's all right.
Well,
That's what happened to Fred.
I haven't gotten anything in the last, I think I probably submitted 3 or 4 times. Only the first one got in. And I thought
I put in
the
5.
later ones were better.
I had 5 pieces of completely different work each one, so I covered a lot of bases, but
Yeah. I thought it was, yeah.
You can't.
It's more abstract, or it's more,
It's more abstract.
it's,
yeah.
I don't know, it's so different now.
I suppose so. I don't know. I don't have a sense of how to select that.
No. Well, did you see the one that won last year?
Oh, I might remember.
It was the one with the fence, and it was a statement, probably about racial things, I'm
Right.
guessing.
Right.
So that's the one that won,
Yes.
There were quite a few I liked in that show this year. There's been some years where I couldn't find hardly anything I liked.
Right. Yeah, it's tough. But Saw Goshen is having the SOS show again this year. I don't know if it's going to be in person or not, but he usually has it at the end of the school year at the Art Academy. I wonder if it's going to be there again.
Who's online with us?
Just us.
Chuck just got on board here.
Welcome.
Who's it? Chuck?
His brother.
Oh, brother. Oh, okay. Hi.
Hello.
It's Maureen and Fred.
Yes, nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
And we
Take
don't
me
have
a
a
walk up to the village.
Yeah.
And we don't have a good
We
light in
didn't,
this
we didn't
corner.
make it up to the village.
Well, it's not snowing yet. It's getting colder.
Oh, we see the little flakes every once in a while. The last several hours, like little tiny flakes, will fly by.
Yeah, I was busy finishing a jigsaw puzzle, so I didn't get out. They've got
As many people come to the show.
Here?
Yeah.
Well, they had a workshop earlier, and I interviewed the artist, and I just had a nice interview with Nelson, our resident rock star. I forget Nelson's last name. Anyway, he's the real thin guy. He always has dogs. He walks around all the time.
Oh, no.
Just a village character. And so we're just trying to build an audience. If I can, it's kind of
So
low
who's
key.
the artist there at the show?
Well, we have a Barb Smucker is got some collage pieces, small collage pieces, and then the larger abstracts are of Chris Thalgott. She works in branding, but I can show you some of these paintings. Here they are. These are Chris's works. She works in branding on her day job, but these are acrylic. So we were kind of joking that they kind of look like Omicron or COVID, but thank heavens she didn't put the little spikes on it. They look like magnified dust particles or alternative worlds. Maybe the surface of Jupiter or something.
Some nice crystals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I guess art doesn't have to look like anything in particular.
No,
Just to express.
she has a few abstract artists that in the past that influenced her.
Is this the art that is there?
This is
Yeah.
Chris Thalgott's work. She's one of the two abstract artists in the show.
Okay,
These are larger.
that's interesting, I think, yeah.
Yes, yes. And I think we've sold one of her pieces and many of the small collages of Barb's. So the sales have been
Okay.
pretty good here.
Wow.
That's good to hear.
Huh.
So
You know who does abstract is our neighbor. I mean, that's not as
Right.
Michael Roller.
Roller.
yeah,
He's had a show there.
yeah, he had a show here too. I was wondering whether it was a one-man show or not. I know that.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Well, it was when they were just putting stuff in the window during COVID, the early
right.
part of COVID.
Oh, that was it. Yeah. It was just a window thing.
But he's had a couple of pieces in the Christmas shows, and he's got the upper floor. I think he has a studio up there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know when he finds time with two boys and
I don't know either.
time job.
With a job, full-time job.
I can't. I don't know how to do it either. It's very hard to paint and work a full-time job.
Now, when I paint, it's 4 or 5 hours solid. And you can't find that when you're working and taking care of kids.
Sure. Sure. Or
Yeah, he can concentrate on his painting pretty well, I tell you.
Maureen's more of a half-hour painter.
An hour, maybe an hour.
I wish I could do it in a half hour.
No, I like to do my little things, I like that, actually.
right. Well, I guess you're just using a little tray with a squirted out watercolor, Maureen?
Oh, the watercolor,
You work with tubes, right? Yeah.
yeah. I mean, I have tubes, a lot of different. I do mix them every once in a while, together.
Uh-huh.
Get the right color, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a great expert at it, but I do enjoy it, though. Actually.
She usually gets together once a week with a friend that they took watercolor classes with. Over the
Yeah,
last
about
several
5 years ago.
So they paint once
so-
a week.
So we get together once a week, yeah. So we paint for about 3 hours we talk a bit though too sometimes.
There's a lot of talk.
Yeah. I know.
Now, when I paint, I paint like every other day, for 3 or 4 hours.
So Chuck, are you into art painting or anything like that, or Chuck?
Oh, I built some artwork for Burning Man was my last big piece.
Oh, I remember that, yeah.
So,
Oh, do you?
Have they done that during COVID at all?
no, this is going to be the first year they've done it. They've skipped the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to go this year. I was thinking about building a piece of artwork. It's just depends on whether I can get together the lighting for it or not. I think I don't know. It's a lot of work to make a piece of artwork and take it out to the middle of nowhere in Nevada.
So what is that thing? Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. What is that thing behind you? That art piece
Oh,
of art?
that's my Haley's Comet hat that I built and made for Halloween in 1986.
Oh, okay.
But now I wear it when I go raving, go to my electronic music all night parties.
We didn't know you did that.
Yeah, I went out to Denver for one New Year's Day. It was a great time.
Okay, wow.
I'm the old guy there. You know, the young kids tell me they appreciate that old people like that underground electronic music. It kind of legitimizes it for them.
Oh. Well, you're probably a big hit out there with that.
So how long do you stay at Burning Man when you're out there?
Oh, everybody stays the whole week. I mean, that's the
Oh,
deal.
wow.
You're not really supposed to leave. You're supposed to
Well,
stay
where
there.
exactly? Are you in a tent or a cabin or what is
I've
it?
got a little camper trailer that
Okay,
we towed out there,
okay.
but my sister stayed in a tent, and you usually stay in a tent inside of a tent. So you put a smaller tent inside of a larger tent.
Because of the wind?
It's so dusty there,
Yeah.
and that kind
That's
of.
what I figured. It looked very, very
I've had
dusty.
a lot of dust storms.
Do you have to wear a mask when it's
Oh
windy?
yeah, and goggles.
And goggles? Okay, no, I didn't know
So
that.
it's yeah, every evening there's a dust storm around 6 to 8.
Okay, it's a common thing then.
Yeah, people just sort of hunker down, and then after the sun goes down and the weather cools off, it's really, really beautiful, very beautiful. With
Okay.
the blackness and all the light. The lights.
Oh, you can see the stars, I bet.
Oh,
Or can?
if you got away from Burning Man, you could see the
Oh, I see.
stars
Okay, yeah.
pretty well.
Lots of lights around there.
My one job you can do as a volunteer is to go out and spend the night at the hot springs, and then you could see the stars very well.
Hmm.
Nobody's supposed to use the hot springs during the event.
Uh-huh.
But people do.
Well, my sister and my friend, they went there and looked over it during the day. But I was thinking about building a tetrahedron that shows the 3 eons of life on Earth. You know, the age of the seas, and then the age of reptiles, and then the age of mammals.
Sounds interesting.
Well, that's the theme this year, isn't it?
A microwave?
Oh,
The
yeah.
theme is waking dreams, whatever that means. Waking dreams.
Waking dreams.
That's when most people dream, at the time they're waking up.
Well,
Right.
that's like lucid dreaming, I guess.
Yeah.
I made that Da Vinci flying machine for Da Vinci's workshop. That was the theme.
Uh-huh.
Waking dream.
Well,
You have to-
Well,
I'm gonna leave you because I was just cleaning up emails when I saw the one you sent out earlier, so.
good. Well, thanks for
Well,
tuning
nice
in,
talking with you.
Maureen.
Yeah, nice seeing both of you. Take care.
Okay, toodaloo.
Bye.
Bye.
As soon as I figure out how to get out of here. Here we go.
Don't push that button, not that one.
Oh,
I just saw this in time to have a look at the space. It looks terrific.
Oh, good. Here, I'll show you some of the artwork that's here. I interviewed Chris Thalgott earlier. There's 2 abstract artists here. One is Barb Smucker. She does small collages. And then Chris's work. I guess they're like 3 by 3 feet squares, and 3 by 2.5, some of the rectangles. So, Bill, there's going to be another show here. They're looking for proposals from Clifton artists for work done within the last 2 years. So
Okay.
I think if you go to their Facebook page, you can get the link to the proposal. But I'm going to submit something. So that'll be fun. But that gives you a good sense of what Chris's work is.
Nice. Yeah.
What have you been up to? Been working on any photos or art or?
Oh, co-curating an exhibition at Miami University Art Museum of contemporary Ohio photographers.
Mhm.
And I've been working on that. Had a long meeting about it, 5 hours over there 2 days ago. And then driving home, I went to Krugh on Canard down there by the Mill Creek.
Right.
And leaving Krugh in the night, I hit a pothole so hard that I blew out both front tires and damaged the suspension.
Oh, no.
So the car is in the shop and I'm driving a loaner and
Man.
I really
Gee,
and I went back the next day to photograph the pothole to send it to the city and it had already been filled.
yeah.
So I can't even prove it.
Gee, does your insurance pay for that if you have a collision?
I don't know. I sure hope so. Sure.
Well, it seems like maybe, I don't know, plans are plans, you know.
Yeah, well, the dealer was Superior Honda, which is just a block away from where the pothole was.
Right.
And but they're all messed up at the moment because when they answer the phone, they say Jeff Weiler, Superior Honda, and I say, "How long have you been Jeff Weiler?" And the guys thought for a minute. And he said, "I don't know, maybe 48 hours."
Oh,
and
is Jeff Weiler Superior Honda now?
Jeff Weiler just bought it.
Oh my gosh.
And in the changeover, somehow or another, the entire computers got wiped,
Dude.
right? So they have nobody's records. The service department doesn't have your records. Until they fix that, warranties aren't in effect, nothing. So it's a mess.
Oh my gosh. Gosh, so this is, we take all our cars to Superior, and I just learned they came out with an electric car.
Which one? A Pilot or
I don't
what
know.
was it?
It's a new car, a new electric from Honda.
I should look at it because I've had two Hondas in the last 25 years. The first one was a Honda Civic wagon, which I drove for 19 years. And I loved it. But the year after I bought it, they discontinued it. So in 2016, I bought a Honda Fit. And I like it quite a bit too. And last year they discontinued it.
Well,
so I'll look into this new electric car and see if it's nice.
yeah. Well, we'll probably buy one in a couple of years, just because we want to work out the bugs before we buy one. Then we'll probably buy a used one, I guess. But that'll be fun.
Yeah, I have several friends who've bought used Priuses in the last year or two. But now used cars cost as much as new cars did 2 years ago.
Yeah, well, maybe in 2 or 3 years, the price will level back around, and we won't have all this
hopefully
shortage and blah blah blah. But
anyway, the gallery looks great.
Well, thank you.
And
they busted out some covering on the windows. They busted out the wall. It's one big huge space now, so it really looks
right. It goes all the way back. I see that, and you put a door on that back area. You can't get into it by going around.
You don't
the
have
back anymore.
partition now, so it's just one big space. You got the lavatory in the back, and then there's a closet, and that's it.
Right.
Perfect.
Everything looks nice, and it looks like. Did you change the lighting a little bit? It's all.
Yeah, John Osterman's really done a fantastic job. The whole thing tricked out perfect. It's really amazing what they've done here.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, right on, Bill. I'm gonna have to say goodbye, but I'm so glad you showed up, and I'm gonna start having these regular Clifton Zoom meetings the second Friday of the month from 3 to 6. So we're gonna probably be.
Well, I only saw it online at 5:45, so I figured, well, maybe I can jump in for the last 15 minutes, and I'm glad that I did.
Well, thanks a lot, Bill. This is good, and this I got my equipment set up here, so I'm pretty comfortable to drag all this equipment to pull it off. But Take care and enjoy the rest of the day and go Bengals, huh?
Hello, my name's Darren. I've worked at Clifton Market for going on 7 months now, and I love it here. This place is amazing.